Hey, Circuit Breakers, welcome to another episode of Freedom Circuit on 1732 streaming channel. I'm Streaming John, episode 22. So I really thank you guys for following me this entire time. It's awesome. It's been a journey. Let's keep it going here. And speaking of keeping the journey going here, if you don't mind, guys, if you could like and subscribe on whatever platform you happen to be watching on, you can find us at 1732 streaming on Rumble and on YouTube. And you can also follow Streaming John on Facebook, Instagram, and you can follow us at 1732 streaming on Instagram. I'm sorry, not Instagram, TikTok as well, and at 1732 streaming on X, all social media platforms. I'm on everything. I'm even on Threads. I think that's Streaming John as well. Wherever you want to follow me, that'd be great. I really appreciate it. And also, if you don't mind on those platforms as well, if you could leave a comment or engage with me if you don't mind. I do engage with some of the audience throughout various platforms. Who knows, maybe some of them will make it onto the show. And also, I really want to thank some of you folks here. Some of my coworkers have come up to me and they've started using terms like "What's up, circuit breakers" and stuff like that. I really do appreciate that. It means that you're watching, and I really do thank you. I love you guys. I appreciate it a great deal. And also, I had another coworker tell me just a couple days ago that they appreciate that I cite references sometimes and stuff like that because they don't always agree with me, but they do like to go back and look at references and stuff like that. So I appreciate that. I do put a lot of time and effort into this, and I'm glad that you're watching it and hopefully enjoying it as well. She also said that she likes that I don't yell all the time, so she probably hasn't watched every single episode because there are some times I get in there and I call some of y'all jackasses and stuff like that. So, hey, you know what though? Yeah, a little bit of entertainment. So, let's go ahead and get started here. So, I got a new format going here. I got my screen set up differently and stuff like that. So, I apologize if there's a couple of pauses here. I'm still trying to figure everything out using my streaming software. So, some of the things we're going to go over today. NASCAR is back. All right. We're going to do just a quick blurb on that. This isn't a sports show, but I'm a NASCAR fan and I just really want to, share the love when it comes to NASCAR. And I want y'all to get involved too. And hey, if your favorite driver, pick your favorite driver, drop a comment in there. Let me know what you think. We're going to go over an update from the Virginia Citizens Defense League here in Virginia, obviously. They are a group that goes with Second Amendment. They are big advocates of the Second Amendment, and we'll cover some topics from them. They've given me permission to share some of their content, so we're going to go over that because I'm a big advocate for the Second Amendment, so I think that's important. And we'll also go over the recent government shutdown that we just had. Did you even know the government was shut down? We'll go over that. It was only shut down for a couple days. And then we'll go into finally the Epstein files, the latest release. Is there something there or is it a big nothing burger? I don't know. We'll talk about it here in just a second. So let's go ahead and let's start with the NASCAR update here real quick. All right, here we go. Okay, that might have been really loud. I apologize. I'll fix that on the next one. All right, so Freedom Circuit's new segment sports update here. All right, so NASCAR is back. The first race was at Bowman Gray yesterday. It was delayed due to weather. Bowman Gray is a very small track, so there's a lot of wrecks and stuff like that. I love the race, but it's not a points race, an exhibition race. The first points race will be at Daytona this year. So the winner of the Bowman Gray race was Ryan Preece. He won last night, so congratulations, Ryan. Not my favorite driver. I love Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin, he came in fifth place with my son and my wife, like Ty Gibbs, so I'll go ahead and put that out here too. He finished 14th, although he was sitting in the top five for most of the day, but he had a pretty decent spin out that sent him to the back. So, sorry, Ty, man. I'm rooting for you. I hope you get that first win, and I know the rest of my family is too. And of course, Denny, all the way, guys. Denny, he's going to get the championship this year. I don't care what anybody says. And let's go ahead and throw out there. You got the Super Bowl coming up. So who do you think is going to win in the Super Bowl? Is it going to be the Patriots or is it going to be the Seahawks? I know my brother CP, who's a big supporter of this show and has showed up every now and then on this show. He's a Patriots fan. Boo, love you, brother. I'm not a Seahawks fan. I'm a Cowboys fan, but I'm probably going to root for the Seahawks in this one. Drop some comments, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know who you think's going to win, and we'll cover it after the Super Bowl, and we'll see who won. All right, drop some comments, guys. All right, so let's get into the Virginia Defense League, guys. And I apologize. I got some new animations, man, and I'm just so excited for it. So, Virginia Defense League. All right, guys. Yeah, can you tell I'm having some fun here with some of the animations now? All right. The Virginia Citizens Defense League is a group that is a Second Amendment advocacy group. They are responsible for Lobby Day here in Virginia. And what those guys do is, all the 2A Second Amendment advocates and all that, they all show up at the Virginia Capitol and, show their support for Second Amendment. And they also provide lots of help with legislation and stuff like that and resources on what you can do to have your voice heard for the Second Amendment if you're not pleased with what's going on. So, some of the things that we're going to go ahead and cover here, real quick. Let me pull it up here. So, let's get that up here. All right. So, Virginia Defense League right now. So, their alert right now that they got going on right now is today, February 5th at 4 p.m. There is going to be a subcommittee meeting in reference to some of the bills that are being processed. Now, one of the things that we got here is HB 1015 prohibits a person convicted of a misdemeanor assault and battery hate crime from being able to possess firearms. Misdemeanors should never take away a person's civil rights. I absolutely agree with that because, what is the definition of a hate crime? Now, if you go out there and you beat up somebody, a black person and you beat him up, shoot him, kill him, there's already a law in place for that. It's called murder, okay? Or it's called assault. And if it's a felony, you're going to lose your right to a firearm. So what are they talking about when they're saying, a hate crime, and it's a misdemeanor too. So does that mean that you're just, shouting racial slurs or something like that? Well, I think that's not right. You shouldn't be doing that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that your rights need to be taken away. Drop your comments what you think about that. I absolutely do not think that that needs to be passed. So we do need to take some action there, and we need to have a better definition of what they're considering a hate crime at that point as well. Because if their definition of a hate crime is just racial slurs or you looked at them the wrong way, then you lose your Second Amendment rights for a misdemeanor. We're not talking about felonies. We're talking about misdemeanors. This is what this is in the subcommittee. So, felonies, absolutely, right? At the end of the day, felonies, you get your guns taken away. Sorry, you broke the law. It is what it is. You're a criminal at that point. In felonies, you're going to serve jail time too. So the other thing here, all right, so here's another one here, HB 1427. So this one right here repeals the unconstitutional one handgun a month law. I actually agree with that one, and I believe the Defense League does as well. That's why it's highlighted in green here. In the state of Virginia, unless you have a concealed carry permit, you are not allowed to buy more than one handgun a month. You can only buy one handgun a month if you're a citizen without a concealed weapons permit, unless that's changed. That's the way I understood it when I got my concealed permit. You guys can drop comments if I get it wrong. Call me to the mat. I will update it on the next episode if I got it wrong. Okay, seriously. Hold me accountable. That's a big thing for me as well. I don't want to give you guys false information. If I do, I want to be corrected. So we want that to pass. Okay, we absolutely want that to pass. We want to be able to, if you want to own more than one handgun and you want to buy more than one handgun a month, absolutely. It's none of your damn business what I do with handguns, or any gun for that matter. It's none of your business unless I'm out there committing crimes. At the end of the day, it's my constitutional right to have as many damn guns as I want. Period. The end. And there shouldn't be any restrictions on what type of guns those are too. All right. Next one here, HB 1525. So this one removes the right of young adults to have a handgun or assault firearm, scary guns, right? AR-15s. Unless used for lawful self-defense or defense of another while in the home or property of parents, grandparents, or guardians. So for those of you of the ages of 18 to 20, that essentially means that you would no longer have the right to have a handgun or an AR-15, which they're trying to outlaw AR-15s as well, or assault rifles, scary guns again. So guys, yeah, we got to get this fixed here. So already in the state of Virginia, you have to be 21 to own a handgun, but this is going to remove your rights, to own other types of firearms as well. That was the only restriction, unless that's changed in the last few years. That was the only restriction, is you couldn't have a handgun until you reach the age of 21. Here they're talking about AR-15s, Probably some other types of rifles that they consider scary as well. So, guys, we need to do everything we can to get these. We got to shut these down somehow. And the Defense League has provided lots of resources for you to do so. So, the Virginia Citizen Defense League has put up a couple of things here for you guys that you can do to help with these bills and nix them and support them. Depending on which bill you're talking about. So, on their website, I encourage you to go to their website, www.vcdl.org. They have a section here for action items. It's going to be under the Virginia Alerts section. Action item number one, we need everyone to send a pre-written email to their delegate. Their system will figure out who your delegate is automatically based on your address, and this can be done in under a minute. So please go on there and do that. Show your support for, especially the one gun a month, getting Nixon that. We want that taken out. So that's a good thing. We want to support that. But the other two, we do not want to support. So go online, get that filled out. Let's get that done, and let's get our voices heard, guys. Action number two. So you can speak at the meeting online, so you don't have to go to the Capitol. Keep your comments short, and they can be as simple as "I oppose this bill." They can also the one good bill, which is HB 1427. In that case, you can say, "I support this bill." You can register to speak now. Your computer must have a microphone and camera, and you can register by clicking here on that website. It's going to be action item number two. Action item number three, and you also need to contact them as your legislators as well in opposition of the excess taxes on guns and ammo and suppressors. So that's one of the things that they're proposing right now is more taxes on ammo, guns, and suppressors in the state of Virginia. So we need to oppose that as well. Go to the Virginia Defense League website, Citizen Defense League website at www.vcdl.org to learn more. And I'm going to post some more updates as they put out alerts. I'm not going to be able to get to all of them because I do work full time, but every time I do a show, I'm going to try to throw a couple of them in there, guys. So, let me know what you think about that segment there. Are you okay with me doing alerts like that, especially with the Virginia Citizen Defense League? I really like these guys. Show your support for them. But give me some comments on that. I would really appreciate it. So that is our alert from the Virginia Citizen Defense League. All right, moving on to our next topic here. All right, so we're going to go into the latest federal government shutdown update. All right, so did you know that the government was shut down? I don't know if a lot of us did. It was more of a partial shutdown. It wasn't really a full shutdown. So the recent partial government shutdown has ended after Congress passed a major funding package and the president did sign it into law, restoring normal operations and, of course, back pay to anybody that was furloughed there in that short time. So the big dispute for the shutdown, and it's still a dispute, so we'll get into that in just a second, is the Democrats want to decrease funding for the Department of Homeland Security and ICE. Okay, because they don't like ICE right now. They don't like ICE because they think, ICE is going out and shooting all these people and killing all these people. So they're trying to defund ICE right now to try to force the administration into major reforms into ICE. Now, you can guess what those reforms are going to be, right? Less deportations and stuff like that, which is not what we want, obviously, as citizens. We do not want less deportation because guess what? These people are here illegally at the end of the day. Now, again, some of the things we talked about in previous episodes are why do they want to keep illegals here? They want more votes at the end of the day, period. They just want more votes. And we have a census coming up in 2030. If you get a lot of these illegals out of here, you're going to see, less votes for the Democrats. And also, you could see the number to win. Right now, it is 270 in the Electoral College to obtain the presidency. You could see that as low as 263 if you get all these illegals out of here. And that would really damage the Democrats at that point when you start seeing less census. And also that census could also show, less representation in blue states, because people are fleeing these blue states right now. So California, for example, New York, these people are leaving. They're going to Florida and Texas. So you're going to see an increase of representation. So with the decrease of the Electoral College from 270 to 263 and the increase of representation for the GOP in red states and the decrease of representation in blue states, you could really see a situation where the Democrats just cannot win. That's why they want to keep illegals in our country, period. At the end of the day, they want the votes, they want the census, because they count these people on the census in these blue states. That's that's it. That's what this shutdown's all about. They want to keep illegals in the country. Period. That's it. That's what they want to do. I want you to tell me, anybody that watches this show, why do you think they want to keep illegals in our country? Is it other than what I just told you, or is it something else? At the end of the day, if you agree with me, that's great. Say that too. I appreciate it. Comments help the algorithm and the show engagement, and they help push the show. So, either way, I would appreciate some comments. But yeah, guys, I'm just not a huge fan of trying to keep illegals in this country. And again, with illegals, we have increased in crime, human trafficking, drugs, all those things. It's there. You can pull it all up on the FBI website. You can pull all those stats up. There's no dispute about it. Those stats were out even during the previous administration. So it's not a Republican thing or even a left wing thing. Those stats are there. You can see them for yourself. I encourage you to do so. Go to the FBI website and look at it. That's pretty much it for the government shutdown. Now, there is a risk right now. The Department of Homeland Security / ICE has just been funded. I believe it is through March. I'll try to find that and see if I can get it out to you guys later, maybe in a short or something like that. But the funding for everything else is good. So all the other agencies are good to go. There's, the budget is there. It's going to continue on as normal. But you could see this in the next couple of weeks where you run into where DHS and ICE is defunded because this is only an extension of their budget by a couple of weeks or a month or something like that. I'm sorry, it looks like it's here. It's only mid-February. So we're already in February. So yes, a couple of weeks. I was originally right. So they're only funded for another couple of weeks. All right. So we could run into this problem again. So the Democrats are trying to force the GOP to reform and get what they want, which is less deportations at the end of the day and all that good stuff. So we need to fight this as well, guys. So go on, go online, email your representatives at the national level. You can even do it at the local level too, as well. And we got to do something about this, right? I mean, ICE is doing their job right now. There is actual statistics that you can go in and look at yourself. You can go to the Department of Homeland Security and you can see, right now deportations are up and illegal entries into the country are down. So that is a good thing. That is what you want at the end of the day. That's going to help your property taxes. That's going to help your taxes in general. That's going to decrease the welfare state, which is what we are paying for as taxpayers. And, it's going to, it could help the education system as well, as far as taxes are concerned. And everything else, at the end of the day, you're going to see things along with inflation. Everything is a part of this. Now, it's not the one thing that controls all of this, but it is a big part of it. Healthcare industry. I'm a first responder. I work in the healthcare industry. Not going to tell you where. I've told you that numerous times. And guys, if you work with me, please don't put the company name on there. I really would appreciate it. I don't have their permission. Um, the healthcare industry suffers because of illegals. Now, it's not the one thing. It is not the one thing. There are multiple things, and we can get into a whole show about how the healthcare industry is just jacked the hell up right now. It really is. But there's a good chunk of it. You have tons of illegals going into the ERs, using them as a primary care physician, and just not paying the bills. And what do you think those hospitals do? They push that loss onto you, or subsidies from the government, which is still you as the taxpayer. So it's a big deal. I'm sorry, at the end of the day, not everybody has a right to health care. I mean, I get it, right? If it's an emergency, you're in a rollover accident. I mean, you shouldn't have been in the country illegally anyways, but you roll your vehicle and you're severely injured, fine. Yeah, you need to be stabilized, taken care of. But, everything else after that, the follow-up care and everything, that shouldn't be our responsibility at the end of the day. And if you can't pay for it, then you need to go back to your country and they need to be the ones to take care of you. Why are we the ones that need to take care of you? We fought hard for our country and we fought for everything that we have here. Why are we going to throw it all away for somebody that's just coming over here illegally and taking advantage of our good graces? That's my thought on that. So let's move into here. The next thing, let's go into the Epstein file update. Okay, so The government has released, I think it was it's millions of more pages of the Epstein files, including records, including logs, emails, memos, detailing networks and past investigations. The files contain many references to high profile figures like Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and others, but much of it is just schedules, contacts, and unverified tips rather than new proven crimes. So there's really nothing there at the end of the day. And so far, it is not confirmed that any new criminal evidence against Trump is in these files. DOJ has temporarily taken thousands of those documents and media files down because I guess they goofed on some of the personal data and some of the victims' names, and they need to go through and do some redactions on there. But if they put it out there, it's out there. You'll be able to find it. So, and the one thing I want to ask now, those of you on the left, and even those of you on the center, you guys on the right, you're with me. You already know what I'm talking about. For those of you that are in the center or the left, all right, I want you to put your blinders on real quick, okay, and pretend that the name's not Donald Trump. Hell, you can pretend it's Obama or Bill Clinton. Doesn't really matter to me who, but just pretend it's someone other than Donald Trump, okay? And try to remove your personal. I know Orange Man bad. Okay, calm down. I know he's bad. Nobody likes him. Whatever, calm down. It's okay. All right, remove that name from your mind, okay? And I want you to sit there for a minute and all these allegations that have been brought against him that have already been proven not true, okay? And Donald Trump, he even was, once he found out what Epstein was doing, he reported him to the FBI and even let the FBI use Mar-a-Lago as a launching base to basically spy on Epstein, okay? Does that sound like a man that is guilty of some heinous crimes, with children and underage individuals? Why would he do that? At the end of the day. So again, put another name in your mind. Obama. All these allegations, okay? This is not true as far as I know. Maybe it is, I don't know, but just pretend all the allegations you've heard against Trump when it comes to the Epstein files. He's a pedophile or he's slept with underage women or stuff like that. Pretend it's Obama, okay? Just pretend, all right? Do it for me, guys. Pretend. I believe in you. You can do it. You believe in a lot of fake shit anyways, so just pretend. Pretend the name is Obama, okay? And you find out that Obama found out what Epstein was doing, and he reported him to the FBI and let him use his fancy house up in Martha's Vineyard, where they don't allow illegals there because, I don't know. I guess they just can't support him, but I guess the rest of us can. At Martha's Vineyard, and he allows the FBI to use them as a launching point. Do you think that Obama would have been one of those people that was doing these bad things with Epstein? Or is it Epstein is just integrated into that society? He knows a lot of famous people, took opportunities to take a bunch of pictures and just insert himself into a lot of stuff. And, they played along social events and stuff like that. And he was just a guy, he was just an influencer at the end of the day, that knew all these people. It doesn't mean that all these people Epstein knew were all participating in this stuff, just knows he knew these people. So do you think if the same things that were being said about Donald Trump were said about Obama with the same information that was given, the FBI said that President Trump has fully cooperated, President Trump turned in Epstein, President Trump allowed Mar-a-Lago to be kind of like a launching base, if you will, to spy on Epstein. It was actually a big part of getting Epstein, taken down. If it was Obama, would you still be saying the things that some people are saying online that, Donald Trump is a pedophile or he's, sleeping with underage women when there's absolutely no proof to say so? If these allegations were made with no proof against, your god Obama, would you be saying the same things? No, you wouldn't. You absolutely wouldn't. It's Orange Man bad. Okay. You don't have to like Donald Trump. That's okay. You don't have to. I don't even like some of the things he does sometimes. Honestly, I don't think he's the best public speaker, to be completely honest with you. I think he talks honestly, and I greatly appreciate that. That relates to me more as an American than most things. But, you know, if it's just because you don't like Donald Trump, then you're doing the wrong thing. You know, at the end of the day, so far There's absolutely no evidence that Donald Trump did anything wrong, with underage individuals or anything like that. And there's tons of, the reason that you're just hearing about this in the last couple of years is because they're just looking for something now. If you go back during his first election, or even this election where he won, don't you think if they had the smoking gun that would have gotten leaked right away? It wasn't leaked because there was nothing there, guys. If the Democrats had something solid on him for either of the elections, it would have been all over the internet. Pictures and all. Just everything. So think about that, guys. Just think about that. That's all I ask. Think about it. Remove your blinders. Try to be a little unbiased here when you're sitting here thinking about these things. You don't have to like Donald Trump. Orange man bad. I know. I got you. It's okay. It's okay. Orange man bad. But I want you to use your analytical brains. Okay? Don't believe what you see on Facebook all the time or whatever platform. It doesn't. Don't just look at. It would only take 5 minutes of a Google search and it would change your views if you looked at it, neutrally, which, I mean, I know a lot of people on the left can't do that. But you in the middle, you guys, you independents, you're the ones I'm talking to mostly. All right. So that's pretty much all I got today, guys, as far as the show goes. I hope you enjoyed it. If you got any suggestions or anything like that for the next show, I'd appreciate it. Drop some comments on any of our other social media platforms. And so, yeah, speaking of, like I said, drop some comments. I really would appreciate it. It shows engagement, and I do get ideas from you guys, and I do like talking back and forth to you guys. And I mean, for the love of God, please be respectful. If you say something wholly nasty or something like that, I'm just going to end up calling you a jackass and, stop talking to you or something like that. Be respectful. I'm happy to have engagement with you guys. So, yeah, absolutely. And then also, if you don't mind, like and subscribe. Follow me on any social media platform. You can follow me at 1732 streaming on YouTube, Rumble, and you can also follow me on X at 1732 streaming. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Threads at Streaming John. And you can also follow me on TikTok at 1732 streaming. Just got that going here recently, so trying to build that up a little bit. I actually get a little more engagement there as far as comments go. So yeah, please go on there. That's where I upload all the shorts from this episode. And yeah, don't forget the Virginia Citizen Defense League guys. Give them a follow. Try to help them out. Anything that we can do, go to their website. I'd appreciate it. So in the meantime, guys, I'll catch you next time. Keep your head on a swivel. Stay safe. Peace, guys.